Good morning. I wanted to make this video about some brushes that I recently purchased and to show you what it is that I'm working with mainly these days. I find it really difficult to buy brushes online, so I prefer to go to the art supply store and actually see and feel what it is that I'm buying. But I've also been a big fan of Rosemary Co brushes for a while, which is a company that only sells online. They do a lot of, they're present at a lot of art fairs and etc., but that is not for me. So I am married to their catalog and I read it religiously every so often. I recently decided to try out some of their other lines because now I'm mainly working in oil paint, whereas before I was working with acrylics. So I wanted to try some new brushes. I'm going to try and explain to you what it is that I feel when I work with them, when I touch them. It is difficult, of course, to translate that to video, but you know, it's all we have now. I'm going to give you some of the reasons why I chose certain lines. A small disclaimer, normally I work with synthetics, as in I try to buy as much synthetic brushes as I can to avoid using animal products. I have yet to find a good substitute for the hog bristle, which is a bristle made from pig hair. So this is not a vegan video, all right? Again, I'm trying to replace as much as I can with synthetics, and I will talk about the synthetic Ivory line that Rosemary Co offers you and some others, but I'm also going to mix in some animal products here as well. So if that is not your thing, I have some chapters down below so you can actually skip to the brushes that you want to see and the brushes you want to skip. So thank you for joining me, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. All right, let me show you first what I have been working with mainly recently. These are mostly Da Vinci brushes. This is a brand that I can easily get from my art supply stores, but also my online art supplier. I don't know if that's a thing. You know what I mean. But I can also see them in stores and, you know, get a feel literally for them. So this is the Nova line. This is a synthetic that is quite soft. It's really quite soft. I do like it. It is very suitable for delicate work, both in acrylic and in oil paint. What I have found is that in acrylic, because acrylics tend to tack up pretty quickly, you get drag, right? So sometimes you need a bit of a rougher brush to still be able to get into your acrylic paint, and this one won't do. What I also like is that the hairs are quite long. They are longer than the other line that I've been using that is a little bit more expensive, but it also looks very nice. Which is the Grigio line, and I think what they're trying to emulate some sort of animal hair with the discoloration here. These are nice brushes, but again, they are very slick. And then I have these two. This is the Maestro 2 line. This is a nice brush. I actually have a smaller one as well. It's flexible, but it still has good friction, if you will. It's not as smooth as the rest. And this is a Bristle, which is, I think, becoming my favorite type of brushes. So this is what I've been working with. When I decided to get some new brushes, I wasn't sure which of the lines of Rosemary Co would suit me best. So I did what any logical person, right, would do, is I bought a number 6 from a variety of different lines that I hadn't tried yet. So now I have 4 brushes with the same shape and the same size. So let's go over them. This is the Ivory. The Ivory line is a synthetic line, and I will show you a couple more shapes that I've purchased as well. Ivory synthetics are smooth, as are most synthetics, but they are just a little bit rougher than most synthetics that I've used. Okay, and this is something that I've been looking for a while, um, because I have this issue where with synthetics I just slip off my surface. I decided to buy from their lines of bristles 3 different ones. This is their Bravura line, this is the Ultimate line, and this is the Classic line. Now when you read the website or the catalog, I'm not sure what the difference is. It's something with hairs being interlocked, something about a blend of hairs. I'm not sure. What I found when they arrived is that they feel the same to me. So that may be because I'm not a very, how do you say that, sensitive painter. I'm not a very delicate painter. I could probably get away with a piece of rag on a stick as long as it's not too slick. So maybe feeling the difference is not for me. What I have here basically is 3 brushes in a shape that I like, in a size that I use a lot, which are almost the same and that are going to get a lot of use, right? Because especially with oil paint, you want one for the lighter colors and one for the darker colors maybe. So it's not a bad idea to buy duplicates of the brushes that you like. Now, as I said, I bought the Ivory in the same size as I bought the bristles so I could compare. But I've heard a lot of good things about Ivory, and like I said, I'm not too picky when it comes to my brushes. But what I did want, and one of the main reasons that I bought new brushes, is because I need long hairs. I need long hairs because I get paint in my barrel all the time. There's no way you can wash that out properly. So then, yeah, so you get paint going up here. So then when they dry after washing them, they're going to be stiff because there's all this stuff here close to the barrel. I bought these rounds. I think they're called filberts. You have even longer ones. They're called Egberts. I think that is just the cutest name for a brush. So I'm actually tempted to buy one just for the name. I'm like that. I bought this one. This is called a dagger. They have another variety that is more intense. I think it's called a sword, which of course, again, I love. I think the sword variety is a little even longer, and I've actually seen Andrew Tischler use that. In fact, Andrew Tischler has his own Rosemary Co brush that you can buy. I had to sit on my hands not to buy the Andrew Tischler brush, not because I need it, but because I love Andrew Tischler. So that's me shopping for brushes and having to control myself. I also bought the pointed round because pointed rounds are awesome. Probably gonna buy some more of these. So this is my Ivory synthetic assortment right now. Speaking of pointed rounds, I like rounds. What they do in your work is they're a nice counterpart for the flat edges that your flat brush gives. So I have the pointed round, but I also have these two. They call them dome shaped, and the reason why is probably because of this. Let me show you. The pointed round goes into a point longer. This one is, yeah, like they said, dome shaped. They have a medium size, a large size, and a small size, and I got the two smaller ones. The other one I purchased is a nice in between the pointed round and the dome shaped, which is a short round. Right, so both of these have shorter hairs, so it's important again that you don't get the paint all the way up to the barrel. But again, I like this one for blending, for shorter strokes that I find them easier to control, yeah, when it's a little bit shorter. From the same series, I think, oh no, it's a different series. I purchased this almond-shaped brush. It's wonderful. I actually didn't expect it to be this great. They, again, come in small, medium, and big sizes, so no number here. And this one, let me show you. So this is the shape, and then when you turn it, it's quite thick. Do you see how? It's a very thick, fluffy brush. I love it. I'm gonna use this one actually for my bigger works that I'll be working on in a little while. And then I bought quite a few hog brushes. These are generally cheaper brushes. The only downside to these brushes, and especially the wood, the handle, is that the imprint, the letters are washed off after one session. So I think I'm gonna have to look at my order and see if I can maybe wood burn some numbers in here so I know what I'm working with. I bought these two. These are very, very long bristles, and I love these. They're, you know, they allow you to loosen up a little bit more because of the longer hairs. They are angled, yeah, so the tip is wider than the barrel, but they are cut flat. The other one that I like a lot, but I haven't used yet, is this round, flat round. I'm not sure. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, so it's round, but cut flat at the top. So this one actually had a bit of a postal issue, which is why it's a little bit bent, but that is fine. It's not their fault, by the way. It's just these things come in packages, and you know what can happen to them. I got a few round brushes, pointed rounds. Pointed rounds with hog bristles are not as sharp as with other types of hair, and also with synthetics. I like these. I like the more organic stroke they give and blending they give. So I got these in a couple of sizes, 16, 12, and, well, who knows. And then I got these filberts. These are a regular sized filbert, not long, but they will do just fine. And then sometimes when you're on the Rosemary Co website, they have a couple of special brushes that sometimes they try things out and it doesn't make the assortment. This was a Bristle angular, which I love, as you can tell by the state of the handle. I like it a lot. So if they're listening, which they're probably not, but this I would buy in every size available. The angular bristle. So these were my purchases recently, and I want to show you what I've been working with for last 5 years, which is probably my favorite brush until I came across the Ivory, which is the Shiraz. This is a synthetic line, and if you followed my course, Mixed Emotions, you've probably seen me work with this brush a lot. You can tell by the state of the handle, I love it so much. This is a great synthetic brush. It is thick, it has spring, it is quite slick. It is slicker than Ivory, but I also feel it's a little bit thicker. Okay, so if you are looking for even more body in your brush, this is actually a really great option. The other synthetic a couple of years ago that I also tried together with the Shiraz is the Evergreen. I got an angular, but the Evergreen for me is too thin, right? This is a very thin brush. Let me so you can see the difference in thickness. So this is not a line that I would purchase again, but if you are a very delicate painter, then the softness here is definitely something that I think you might appreciate. And the other one that I've had, and you may also have seen that in Mixed Emotions, is the goat mop. This is goat hair, so this is not synthetic. This is a mop, which is basically, it looks like a bunny tail. Yeah. It's also great for watercolor, and it's also good for oil blending, although cleaning this one after you use this for oil is gonna take like 2 hours and a bucket of soap. I'm not kidding. So I try to keep this one for watercolor alone. So that was a quick, hopefully quick overview of the brushes that I purchased, the reasons why, the way they feel to me. Again, this is very personal, and one thing I wouldn't recommend when you buy brushes is to go off of people's artwork. All right, there are a million ways to get the brush stroke that you want, to get the effect that you want, and I've never come across anyone who was solely dependent on this one brush from this one manufacturer to get the techniques and the artwork that is required. So I know it's tempting to buy brushes based on the work that somebody produces, but I would recommend against that. Instead, try and find reviews or experiences from people that are based on why they purchased this one brush and what it does. All right, so quick overview. I love the Ivory synthetics. They are slick with a little bit of friction. They come in long varieties, which is great if you are somebody like me who gets paint up the barrel. And to counteract the very smooth stroke of the Ivory synthetic, I have purchased a number of Bristle. This is pig hair bristle brushes that add a little bit of roughness into your work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe you gain some insight. If you have any questions regarding any of this, or maybe different brands of brushes, let me know in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer whatever I can, or refer you to people who might have the answer for you. So thank you for watching, thank you for joining me, and have a great day. Bye bye.